The world as we know it is changing, and it's changing at a rapid pace. And if we're too wrapped up in stories that other people are creating, like the news or the government or whatever, or TikTok, celebrities, YouTube, like if we're just too wrapped up in other people's stories and other people's energies, and we're never tuning in to our own energy and being in our own experience, we're missing this change. Because in order to step into the world that is being created right now, it's a choice. You have to make the choice to follow your intuition, to follow those internal nudges, making the choice to trust your inner voice. But how can you hear your inner voice if there's always noise around you? If you're never sitting and getting to know this voice, if you can't tell the difference between your intuition and your ego and thoughts that have been infiltrated into your mind through external people, videos, whatever it is. So yes, the world is changing at a very accelerated pace right now. But if you're not tuning in to your own energy and allowing the energy that is stuck in your body to flow through, you're going to stay stuck in your current reality. You're not going to even know that there's a whole nother world being created right now at a higher frequency, because you're still playing in the lower world, in the lower frequencies. So yes, this is what I'm talking about today. Let me just breathe for a second. I've just been hearing on repeat in my mind all morning, the world as we know it is changing. And then I've just been getting this like intuitive nudge to make a video, but I wasn't sure what was going to come through. I just was following my voice. And I think I talked about this in a previous video. That's what it looks like to follow your intuition, is like, it'll just be a statement or a feeling calling you to do something, but it won't be clouded by fear. It won't be clouded with anxiety. That's going to be like your ego still controlling you. But whenever you feel the calling to go make a video and it just feels like kind of neutral, a little bit exciting to you, like, and you feel like you have to go do it, but not because you're scared of what will happen if you don't do it, but because it just feels like the next most aligned thing to do. That's how you follow your internal guidance. And once you learn how to be in your own energy, and you learn the subtle differences between the ego control state versus the intuitive guidance state within your being, it's going to be easier to follow your inner guidance and to trust your inner guidance. When we're operating out of the ego, we're always going to be in a state of fear or judgment. So, yes, and this is gonna come from learning how to observe your thoughts as well, and knowing the difference between a thought and thinking, which is in a book I'm reading right now. I'll have to put it in the description because I don't have it with me. I don't remember who the author is, but there's a chapter in this book talking about how a thought is just sort of a neutral statement that arises in your mind, and then thinking is when you go down the rabbit hole with this thought, usually fear or anxiety. Like the thought that popped up into my mind was to record a video, and then, well, first the thought was the world as we know it is changing, and then another thought popped up saying, intuitively nudging me to make a video. That was a thought. That was intuitive guidance from the universe. Whereas thinking would be afterwards me going down the rabbit hole of, well, who is going to care about what I have to say? Is anybody even going to understand what I'm saying? Like all of these things that are in fear and judgment around the intuitive guidance I received. And that's what thinking is. And thinking is of the ego. And I'm creating right now a 3-day thought mastery workshop to help you get in alignment with yourself and to observe your thoughts and learn how to release the thinking. Learning how to allow thoughts to come and go, but not feeling like you need to attach your energy to them and go down the rabbit hole of thinking with them, right? Because oftentimes when a thought pops up, we automatically intertwine our own energy with the energy of the thought, and then we kind of go down this like rabbit hole of fear and anxiety and judgment with the thought, rather than seeing this thought as separate from ourselves and understanding that it's a choice to let it float by versus going down the rabbit hole of fear with it. It's a choice, and you get to make the choice. Your brain doesn't have to control you. And it's not necessarily about you controlling your brain either. It's about learning how to detach from the thinking mind so you no longer identify with it and you're more able to use it as a tool to your benefit. Your mind is a beautiful tool where you receive divine inspiration and thoughts from your higher self, your spirit guides, God, whatever you want to think of it as. But it's been so... we haven't been taught this. We haven't been taught very much about our minds and about our thoughts. And so when we start going down the rabbit hole with the ego, we think it's us and we think there's something wrong with us. We think that we're just full of fear. But that's not true. You can learn how to detach yourself. So anyways, that's what the 3-day workshop is going to offer you. That's what I'm working on right now. I'll let you know more whenever I'm going to release it. Like what day it's going to be on, I'm not sure. Probably sometime this fall. But I'll let you know. So, yeah, the world as we know it is changing. Let me breathe for a second. There's a lot happening behind the scenes for us. And that's why it's so important right now to communicate with our own energy in a neutral way, because that is where we are. It's almost like we're following breadcrumbs to this new world that we're not even sure if it exists or not, because it's an energetic place right now, and we are the conduits that are anchoring it down into physicality. But if you're unaware of it energetically and you're still letting your like egoic mind control you, you're just going to be perpetuating the world that we see physically with our eyes that we don't want to live in anymore. I think we're all collectively on the same page of like, this world is kind of fucked up right now and it's not really benefiting anybody. And there's a lot of anger about the world. And yeah, I am right there with you. I get it. But if we're constantly just watching news about this fucked up world that we're in, and we're constantly going down TikTok rabbit holes and whatever else we do, we're solidifying the old shitty world into existence for longer. Whereas if we choose to release the old world, the shitty world that we've all agreed we don't like and we don't want to be a part of, we have to release it, right? You can't just like put a bunch of band-aids over it and try to fix it from the inside. It's almost like you have to choose to forgive this old world for even existing so that you can release your grip on it and then tune into the frequencies and the energy of the new world that we're anchoring, and then start acting from this new place. But you can't act from this new place until you get in tune with the frequencies of this new place, which the frequencies of this new place that we're currently anchoring down into physicality are freedom, expansion, unconditional love, joy. And so trying to act from these states of consciousness instead of these old fearful states of consciousness. If we are so attached to the old, we're just going to continue to perpetuate it. We want to look at it and we want to feel the feelings that it brings up in us. We have to face the world because ultimately our collective consciousness, we created this old world. As much as you want to be like, oh, well, the top 1% this and eat the rich that, whatever, you're giving your power away though. You can choose to step into an empowered state and say, I don't know what my part was, but I had some kind of role. I had some kind of role in the way the world looks right now, whether it's in a past life, like we've all done shit. If not in this lifetime, then in past lifetimes. We've all done shit that's contributed to the way the world is operating right now. And the sooner that you can like stand up and stop playing the victim and be like, yeah, like, I don't know how, but somehow I contributed to this world because I'm energetically entwined into this world right now. So somehow I've helped create it the way it is. And then you choose to forgive yourself and forgive the world. There's a hair in my mouth. There we go. Forgive yourself, forgive the world, forgive the people of this world. Feel the anger, feel the resentment, feel the sadness, feel the grief. Something is dying. This old world is dying. There's going to be a lot of grief. Allow yourself to feel these things so that you can fully release it. You can't release it until you allow yourself to feel. And it's not going to make sense. You're going to randomly burst out into tears. You're going to randomly start feeling like an intense sense of grief and sadness, and you're going to have no clue where it's coming from. It's not your job to figure out where it's coming from. It could be coming from a past lifetime. It could be coming from trapped energy stored in your body from this lifetime. It could be coming from the collective consciousness. It could be coming from anywhere. So don't rack your brain trying to figure out where it's coming from. Just feel it. Get out of your brain. Stop trying to think your way through it. Drop down into your body. Face it, feel it, move through it so that you can begin to release the old nasty stuff of this world and start filling yourself up with the hope and excitement and joy and love for the new world that we're anchoring. And start releasing old habits and old ways of being that are keeping you attached to this old world, and start filling those empty spaces of things you used to do with new ways of being that are going to anchor you and tether you to this new world. So stepping into what is going on right now is a choice that you have to make. You can't just watch a YouTube video telling you that the new world is here and then bam, you're in the new world. No, you have to make the choice through your physical actions. You have to step up out of victim mode, reclaim your power. You can't reclaim your power while still playing the victim. Victims don't have power. You can't be a victim and be in your power at the same time. You have to release the old identity of being a victim of the world and step into your power, step into this new earth by changing who you are. The version of you that you were existing in this old world that brought you to where you are existing right now is not going to be the version of you that gets you to this new world, that gets you down the path that you want to be on, that gets you the things that you're manifesting. If you're manifesting, but you're not like changing your daily habits, you're not observing your thoughts and choosing to release thoughts. If you're manifesting, but you're not feeling your emotions when they come up, if you're manifesting, but you're still holding on to old ways of being, nothing's going to change for you because you have the power. Stop waiting on a greater power outside of yourself to magically drop wealth into your lap somehow, and start taking the physical steps through connecting to your intuition, through sitting in stillness with yourself. Start taking the physical steps in the physical world to align you to that path. If you think of every action you take throughout the day, it's almost like it's a compass, either pointing you back towards the old earth or pointing you towards the new earth. And if 68% of all of your actions throughout the day are pointing you to that old earth, your connection to the old earth is going to be stronger, because 68% of all of your tiny little actions and choices and thoughts throughout the day, they're small. They're small. All of these smallest little habits add up. And if 68% of your tiny habits and ways of being are pointing you towards the old earth, and then whatever's 100 minus 68, 32% are pointing you towards here, you're still like mostly in the old world. You need to start ramping that percentage up in this direction. See if you can get it to 51%. 51% of your actions and habits and thoughts throughout the day are pointing you here. And then slowly, it's like you're anchored in now. And now slowly, it's going to be easier to release. The hard part is getting to the 51%. And then after you hit the 51%, it's like the universe sucks you out of that old earth. God sucks you out of the old earth, but you have to meet them over halfway. You have to meet them at 51%. And then things are just going to start falling away. Old thought patterns, old belief systems, these things are going to magically start falling away. But you have to reach that 51% first. You have to show that you're all in. You have to start putting the work in to get there. So, yeah, I guess this video is just a reminder that while this is a very spiritual path, and when you're on a spiritual path, a lot of the work that you do is going to be invisible. A lot of the work you do is going to be while you're meditating or throughout the day, observing your thoughts and releasing old patterns. So a lot of the work you're doing is going to be intangible on the spiritual path. But there comes a point when you have to re-enter the physical world and start aligning your physical reality to your spiritual reality that you've created. And it's not going to be anybody coming to save you. There's not going to be anybody coming to pull you in the physical. You're here to save yourself. God is in you. God is in your heart center. There's not like some external God that's just going to magically realign your entire life for you and you're not taking any physical actions. It's you. It's you that you've been waiting for. You're the one. Surprise! It's you. You have to start physically making new choices. You have to start physically changing your own life. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a victim state consciousness, waiting for some external force, some external power in the sky to come down and magically change your life. That's not going to happen. Sorry. The divine is absolutely supporting you, but the divine can only meet you halfway. So, yeah, I feel like that's what I needed to say. That's the end. Thank you for being here. If this video was helpful, you can give me a thumbs up. I think in closing, I do want to say that yes, a lot of the work is done in the intangible. A lot of the work is done in meditation, in the spiritual realms where you're watching your thoughts. But you have to physically make the choice to meditate. You have to physically make the choice to put yourself into an environment where you are operating in the spiritual consciously. I mean, is how you've been operating thus far in life, like how has that been working out for you? If you kept all of the same habits that you have, if you kept all of the same thoughts and beliefs that you have, you're just going to continue creating the life that you're already living, that you're trying to get out of. So how have your actions been helping you thus far? I would say not very good, otherwise you wouldn't be trying to manifest a new reality. So you have to make the choice to meditate. That's a physical choice, to sit down and close your eyes and breathe and be with yourself and comfort yourself and feel your feelings and observe your thoughts and choose new thoughts, choose new beliefs. This is like choice. These are choices, real choices that you have to make. Some higher power can't make these choices for you. They have to come from you. So this got a little stern, I feel like, but you're here, you're doing a great job. This is just kind of like the final push. And don't let yourself get off track and get into Delulu, ungrounded world where you think everything's going to happen for you and you're just going to wake up one day and magically be in a new world. You have to anchor the new. Why do you think we're here? We're the ones that are here on the physical plane, physically anchoring the world, the new earth. We're doing the work. So, okay, bye.